video is the introduction to my series of Just a Girl in Her 20s. These are going to be like little diary entries. Sometimes they're going to be by myself. Sometimes they're going to be with other people. And it's really just depending on the topic. So the topic for today is a little personal to me. And I know a lot of people can relate to this topic because everybody goes through it and they experience it. The topic for this Monday is grieving. I'm going to try to drop one of these every Monday because it's going to give me something to look forward to and it's going to give me a little bit of consistency here. So the topic for today is going to be grieving, and everybody grieves someone differently, whether it's a parent, an uncle, or a friend, or a significant other. And you know, we're just going to get into the topic of that and how I'm guiding my 20s while grieving a lot of different things. And sometimes you don't even just grieve like death, you grieve relationships, friendships, you know, heartaches, whatever. So we're going to get into the topic of this. And I'm also going to be decorating my MacBook because today is Sunday and Monday, which is tomorrow, I start my first day of classes, which will also be vlogged. I'm going to do a weekly vlog. I'm going to try to do that as well and try to drop those on Sundays just to give y'all a little bit of a glimpse in my life. And also because Sundays are like really reset days for me, I'm also going to be doing resets while I'm doing my vlog entries. And yeah, so y'all get to start my series with me of a girl guiding her 20s. And diary entry number 1 is about grieving. So, and we're going to put grieving right there. Yeah, I'm looking at these stickers before I start. And this is just so inner childhood of me because when I was a baby, my favorite character was, of course, Elmo. Like, I had a whole little setup of Elmo stuff because I loved Elmo. And then it went to Dora, then Bratz, then Hello Kitty. But these are Elmo stickers. And it just gets, like, inner childhood locked in. So, speaking of childhood, you know, my first video, I gave y'all background on how both my parents got sick. So, both my parents got sick, and let me pour these out before I start talking. Okay, so both of my parents got sick, and being that they were both sick, it kind of caused me to mature a lot quicker than a lot of people that I just seem to be around. So, I don't really take to heart that I'm a lot different than people I'm around, but I do take to heart when people kind of like make comments, and you know, it might not seem like it's offensive, but it is offensive to me because of the way that I was raised. I was raised with 2 sick parents, so you know, and I had somebody who made like that comment recently, and I don't know, it triggered me. I'm finna cry talking about it. It triggered me because it's like when you say you don't know how somebody was raised, me specifically, I'm not gonna say I raised myself, but with 2 sick parents who like in and out of the hospital, you don't really, you have everybody that's surrounding you helping raise you, but you don't really have like your parent for real because they sick, and you don't want to like feel selfish because it's like, okay, well, I need somebody to, you know, be here for me. I needed my parents to be all right. I'm not gonna say I needed them to be there for me. I needed them to be all right mostly, and you know, that wasn't the case for my father. My dad died when I was 10, and I was going into the 6th grade, and mom had been dealing with me acting out at school in 5th grade a little bit, not a lot. I was having like a couple of issues, and you know, she kind of informed my teachers on what was going on, and by the time my 11th birthday hit, my dad died. It was unexpected, but kind of expected. So, you know, you know, I knew how to handle it, or let's say accept it. I'm not gonna say I just handled it well, cause you know, since this day I grieve about it, but I knew how to be ready to accept what could possibly be the outcome in the end. At a young age, I didn't really know what my life's outcome would possibly really be. I just knew it was gonna be something, you know, completely different than what I was used to. So my dad died 7 days before my birthday. For a long time, I didn't like celebrate my birthday because it was like, it's kind of like a reminder of my dad and him not being there. And, you know, for the longest, I did not celebrate my birthday. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, recently, I just started celebrating my birthday for real, because it's like, you know, you only turn a certain age once, and I wanted to at least be like, oh yeah, I celebrated, even if I didn't really want to. So that was that. And like I said, still to this day I grieve about it, because I just feel like a lot of things weren't supposed to happen the way that they did. I'm 21, and not having a dad for real growing up to this age, at this current age, let's just say it has taken a toll on me, like, in different ways, because it's like, dang, like, I'm really out here surviving in the world with siblings and a mama and no dad. But back to, you know, the triggering situation. I wouldn't say I raised myself, but I learned how to do like a lot of stuff, like real independent. Like, that's why I tell a lot of people, like, I kind of matured quicker than most people, or like what most people had to, because I had 2 sick parents. So, you know, not just having one, but 2, you know, you gotta hit the ball, you gotta hit the ground running. And, you know, that's kind of what it was for me. I had to hit the ground running, and I didn't have a problem with it, because at this point, you know, I'm getting older, I'm getting growner. I understand what's going on around me, and I'm more than capable enough to know, like, what the fuck you done. And so, like, when that comment was kind of made, it kind of triggered me. But, like, a lot of situations lately have been triggering me, because, like, I deal with real life stuff. I'm grieving to this day. Some days, with grief, some days you're good, and then some days you want to scream at everybody and tell them to shut the F up and leave you alone. You know, you can't do that, because, one, it's not nice, and some people just don't understand what you're going through. You have to be willing and open to telling them, like, what's going on, even if it hurts to explain it. But grief, it takes a toll on you. I don't ever want you, I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all it gets better, because that's a lie. Some days you're gonna be good, and some days you're gonna be like, man, F this, F the world, like, I really don't too much care. And, you know, some days that be me, because I be like, bro, I'm over this. And sometimes I really do be over it, because it's like, bro, like, some stuff just seems so pointless and out of place. And I'm a very open person. Like, I think being that I was brought up the way that I was, and I experienced the stuff that I did at such a young age, it caused me to, like, have a different outlook on life. So, like, the way people look at things, I probably look at them completely different, because life is literally so short. Like, people be like, oh, you'll get over it as quick as it happened. You won't. Like, my dad fought cancer. He had colon cancer. He fought it for 4 years. It's been 4 years. I still need a daddy at the end of the day. So it's like, you know, it's hard, but you only, like, you're as strong as you allow yourself to be. And I had to learn that. So, you know, I kind of allow myself to be really strong and really open with people. Like, for the longest, I was a person who didn't like talking about my emotions. And I was a person that liked to hold things in. But now, you gonna know how you made me feel. I can't even get these stickers open. But now it's like, you're gonna know how you made me feel. Especially if it made me feel some type of way. Or it made me uncomfortable in any kind of way. I really want you to understand, like, this is how I feel and this is why I feel the way I feel. Like, that's just me. Grief with a parent is different. Like, I've experienced different types of grief, like losing friends, heartbreaks. You know, I've experienced a lot of types of griefs before, and it's different. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. It's completely different. You be like, that was really my friend. That was my best friend. Like, your parents are your first best friend, your first heartbreaks in some cases. You know, it's like all different for persons. And, you know, I would say me experiencing what I experienced, that most definitely was my first heartbreak, because it hurts a different type of hurt, because you like, dang, like, you was supposed to watch me grow up, you know, you supposed to walk me down the aisle, have kids, you know. I be thinking of stuff like that. Like, for the longest, I never went to a father-daughter dance, and then everybody around me was going to them, and I'm like, dang, I'll never, like, you know, be able to go to one of those. And one year, my uncle, who is my godfather, he surprised me one year and was like, you finna go somewhere. And I was like, okay. And my mama was like, okay, come on, let me get you dressed up. And I'm like, what's going on? Because I'm talking about, let me get you dressed up. So me and my uncle ended up going to a father-daughter dance. And to say that I enjoyed it would be an understatement. I had a great time. I was really appreciative that, you know, he went out of his way to do that for me. And it's like, you know, after my dad died, I didn't really have father figures. Like, yeah, I have uncles and yeah, I have a godfather, but, you know, it's nothing like having your actual father be there for you. And for the 10 years of my life that my daddy was alive and present in my life, he was never, like, really an absent father. He was a truck driver. And when he got off the road, those weekends that he was off the road, I was most definitely with my daddy. And I wouldn't say, oh, I'm a mama's girl, I'm a daddy's girl. I think I'm a mixture of both, because I love both my parents equally. Then I went through so much with both of them. I love them equally. Like, it's no parent I love more than the other or the next. So it's just like, you know, I can't really say, oh, I have a favorite parent. Both of my parents took me through the struggle with them, for real. And it's just, you know, it's different. Everybody grieves differently. But don't let nobody tell you, oh, you should be over it by this time or this time frame. You shouldn't. And there's, like I said, there's different types of grief. The biggest one I deal with most is my dad, because there was somebody, like, I really, really lost. Like, losing a friend, that hurt too. That hurt differently. But losing a parent, that right there takes a toll on your mental. Not even gonna lie to y'all. This is like me being 100% open and transparent. After my dad died, I had a therapist. You know, she was put there to help me, like, just understand myself. And I watched this video a long time ago. It was of these girls talking. I'm gonna see if I can insert the clip. And they were doing a podcast, and she was like, she had a conversation with one of her friends who had recently lost her dad. And she was like, she was trying to get back to her old self. And she was like, I had to tell her, you cannot get back to your old self. The old version of you had a dad. And that's 100% real. Like, you can't even be mad at nobody for telling you that. The old version of me had a dad. The new version of me does not have a dad, so I have to learn the new version of me. And you know, still to this day, I am learning the new version of me, because it's like some days I be like, girl, you doing good, and some days I be like, bro, like, if my daddy was here, some of the stuff that I be like going through, I would not be going through. And I know, y'all, I done posted this so many times. My daddy, he got 5 baby mamas. He got 7 kids. He broke some people heart, and I be dealing with it. Like, ain't no way I'm sitting right here dealing with this stuff because of you. This is what we got so far. But I be like, ain't no way I'm sitting right here going through this stuff. Like, my daddy really showed out with that, because you really got me sitting right here going through this stuff because you decided to be a heartbreaker or whatever, and now I'm sitting right here dealing with heartbreaks. But you know, I only dealt with one heartbreak for real. Let me not even sit right here and play with y'all on this app. But it's just hard, because you got in your life with one parent. It's like, you know, you'll never want to make your parent feel like, oh my God, you know, my parent who ain't here, I love them more. Because it don't never be like a situation like that where you just love your other parent more. But it's more so a situation in the fact of the matter where it's like, dang, I still got you. But when you only got one parent, it's only so much that one parent can teach you. Like, my mama can't teach me. My mama can show me when she dates other people, when she date people, how a man is supposed to treat me. But my mama can't show me how a man is supposed to treat me. You know, that's what your daddy teach you. Like, for me and your dad teach you how to treat a woman. He show you how your mama or how whoever he dating should be treated. So, you know, like, dealing with stuff like that, I'm like, dang, like, my dad ain't here for all that. And, you know, it's crazy. But, you know, sometimes this is the type of stuff that comes with life. And I always realize I go through a lot of stuff, but I'm strong. And at a young age, like I said, I was independent, so I'm real wise. And, like, the decisions I make, I don't make them just based off of crazy decision or being rational. I always think before I make decisions. But grieving a parent is different, and still to this day I'm learning a completely different version of me. Like I said, I've never been 21 before. I'm 21 now. I've never been 21 before, and I've never been 21 before with a dad. So, you know, this is a version of me that I've grown into where I don't have a dad. But it's like, I see people with parents, and I'm like, hey, you know, I wonder what my life would have been like if, you know, my dad was still alive. And I can only wonder because of my predicament. So, yeah. Let's get into grieving friends. Grieving friends is like a whole different, complete process, because either you're grieving somebody because of something that you did, or you're grieving someone because of something that they did that deterred you or turned you away from them. I'm currently, like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I had a best friend. I loved her with all my heart. But when you feel like you completely being downed or pushed aside, let's say. So when me and her first started to get a little rocky, she was going through a situation. I'm not going to put her business out there because it's not my business to tell. And I'm a person, I'm only going to tell you what I would do if I was in that situation or that predicament, or if I've been in that situation or predicament. I can only tell you what I would do. And, you know, she came to me a lot for advice, and I would always give her advice on, like, what I would do if I was in those situations. And eventually, it became repetitive. And once something becomes repetitive, it's annoying. Whether you're in a friendship or a relationship, if I have to keep telling you something, or if I have to keep asking you something, and it's the same something, it's tiring. So you know what I'm talking about? I'm just gonna give you space to get a clear mind, so that you can know what you want to do, and it's not someone badgering you to what you should do. So, you know, a couple months went by and we started back talking again. And one of my friends wanted to go out of town for her birthday. And I had a job at the time. So I'm like, okay, you know, we can go. I'll go ahead and put my deposit down. So everybody put their deposit down. And my previous best friend I had brought up that she wanted to go on a trip. But she never just confirmed that this is what we're gonna do. So like when she just started asking me stuff at last minute, it was like, bro, you throwing a lot at me. I'm trying to get a new job. I literally started a new job in January. She wanted to go on a trip in March. I gotta stack my money in order to go on a trip, but I also got bills as well. So, you know, she got mad at me about that. She stopped talking to me about that, and then I'm like, bro, you know, you have to understand it from my point of view. I don't have the money at the time. I'm literally, you know, trying to get me back right. And I ended up going on a trip with my friend for her birthday because my deposit was already paid. The rest of the money that I had to pay was literally like $40. And we were literally driving in the car. We weren't flying nowhere. So, you know, being that happened, she was mad. And I can understand why she was mad, because like, you're not celebrating me, but you're celebrating your other friends. But you know, like, when I'm planning stuff in advance, it gives me time to pay on it and not have to pay everything at once. And that was the case. I paid in advance. I didn't have to pay everything at once. She wanted me to pay everything at once. Then on top of that, I need clothes. We're going to Puerto Rico. And, you know, I don't think she really understand where I was coming from. And, you know, I understood where she was coming from too, because it's like, bro, it's my birthday. Like, celebrate with me. So, you know, when my birthday came up, you know, I'm like, okay, bro, I know, like, you wasn't feeling like I was really trying to celebrate with you. Do you want to celebrate with me? She's like, yeah. When it's time for everything to be paid in advance, so nobody's paying nothing at once, because I know how I feel to pay everything at once. You like, dang, I'm spending money. When you pay in advance, it don't feel like that. So, no, I told her, she was like, okay, let's do it. And once I started getting ready to get money from all my friends, including her, it was a runaround. So I was just like, you know, I don't even want to do a birthday trip no more. Like, it's just taking a lot out of me. So, me and her were still talking. We're still cool, still good. And she came and visited me once since the years that we started back talking. Her graduation was coming up and she wanted to go out. And I'm like, okay, you know, we can do that. But I spent a week off work because my grandmother had passed away. And I spent time with my granddad, and then we had her funeral, of course. So my check didn't hit like I wanted it to. And I'm like, letting her know, like, I might not be able to do it. You know, I'm trying to figure something out. Once I said I might not be able to do it, everything else I said just went out the window. She literally went off on me, and she threw up some things. I want to say some things that she did for me. She came and pick me up one time from Kennesaw and took me to Alabama with her for her homecoming sophomore year. And she kept throwing it up in my face. And I'm like, every time we get into it or we argue, you always throw this up in my face. I don't like it, because if I do something for someone, I do it genuinely from my heart. And the fact that I felt like you keep throwing this up in my face, it wasn't genuine, it wasn't from the heart, it hurt my feelings. And the fact that she can get mad at me over money, it hurt my feelings as well. Because it's like, bro, you know, we supposed to be best friends. We're supposed to be locked in. Money ain't even supposed to be an issue right now. And, like, after that, my sisters, I guess they could kind of see that something was off with me. So they like, we finna go do something, like, sibling-wise. So me, my sisters, and my brother, we went out to eat. she thought I was being funny because I went out to eat with them. And I'm like, these are literally my siblings. Then on top of that, I didn't pay for nothing. I'm the baby sister. What am I paying for? So, you know, there's just a lot with that. And like, to lose somebody that, mind y'all, me and her were supposed to be moving in together. This was like my best friend. We're locked in. To lose somebody that I was really close with like that, they knew me like the back of their hand, knew my secrets, all that. It ain't even about you knowing my secrets and me losing you in fear. It's about you being my best friend. You're literally my other half. So to lose a best friend, for real, it hurt. A lot of things hurt when it comes to grieving friends. Like, I lost another friend, and a lot of stuff with her was repetitive as well. But like I said, she made the comment of, I don't know how they were raised. She's talking to my other friends. I was raised off of survival. I had to fend for myself when my parents were sick. I had grandparents that took care of me. I had sisters. I had brothers. But I didn't have parents. So I'm raised off of survival. Watching them go through stuff, I'm raised off of that. So like when she made that comment, it was like, what? So, you know, like, grieving friends, when it comes to like different reasons that y'all fall out, it hurt because it's like, you really was supposed to be like my dog. So like the stuff that you do or the stuff that you say, it hurts, whether people realize it or not. So that was like real hard for me because it's like, bro, I'm trusting these people around me. Like, real life trusting y'all. And y'all just show me why when I was younger, I grew up having nothing but my brothers around me. They kept me grounded. Yeah, boys are more messy than girls. But I never dealt with any mess. Me or my cousin never dealt with any mess with them. They always made sure that we was straight. We was good. But dealing with females is weird. It's different. Grieving a friendship is like, it's different. It hurts just as much as any other type of grieving. Because it's like, you are my friend. And I'm having to grieve you. And you're not going nowhere. You just out of my life. And it's like, you build so much memories with a person. And I literally told one of the girls that I fell out with, I said at one point, all you gonna have of a person is pictures and memories. I didn't know that would be me and her, because it's like, all we got now is pictures and memories because of the things that you say. It's never about if you intend to hurt somebody's feelings. It's all about how the person interprets what you say. And if you cannot be a person of accountability and taking ownership in the things that you do or the things that you say, that's where it becomes something different. So grieving a friendship, it hurts, but it's all about putting yourself first and what's better and in your best interest. And I was all about putting me first, because for the longest I put other people first, and I've always been about making sure I don't step on any toes. But trying not to step on other people's toes has caused them to step on mine, and I cannot no longer deal with that. So yeah, grieving a parent is, and now grieving a relationship, y'all, I don't even feel like with relationships you're actually grieving. I feel like once you go through something, it's all about healing. You have to heal before you even try to jump into something else or mess with somebody else. Because if you put your time and y'all done spend a lot of time together, it might come off as grieving a relationship. It might come off as grieving a relationship because of the simple fact of the matter. You put a lot of time, your time, into someone else, and sometimes with those situations it does hurt. Depending on what y'all are breaking up for and why y'all are breaking up, it might not hurt as bad because you're going to feel like you're setting yourself free from something that was a barrier or holding you back. So, you know, grief, it has a lot of different aspects to it, and I give anyone their props that can go through grief and be 100% fine afterwards, because you never know what a person is going through. And so I kind of advise people, even myself, be mindful of what you say, because you never know what a person is dealing with. So I normally just I don't say off the wall stuff, even if I'm thinking it, because I never know what the next person is dealing with. But God to talk about a group of friends who died. We cannot end this video without talking about that. So I grew up in Atlanta, so of course people in Atlanta, they always grieving their friends who are passed away, whether they've overdosed, killed themselves, or been killed. One of my friends that I grew up with from, what was it? I would say middle school. I met them when I was in 5th grade. I would say to know him was to love him. He was a light for everybody. We all like really enjoyed him, whether he really knew it or not. When he died, I was not in a great emotional state before that, so to hear that, it was kind of hard to hear, because for the longest I grew up with him. Of course, he used to always be at my house. He was my cousin's boyfriend. Like, y'all, sorry, my mom was calling me. She's in the hospital. So like I told y'all, you know, my mom's still sick. She needs a transplant at Emory. She's in the hospital. She's sick. Trying to see what's going on with that. But back to what we was talking about. He was my cousin's boyfriend. So when me and my cousin were together a lot, you know, he was around. And for him to, for what happened to him to have happened, it was kind of crazy to me. But I was more so like more worried about my cousin. She done experienced so many losses around her. I just wanted her to be okay. So, you know, grieving a friend that you grew up with is a different kind of pain. And like all of the people that we used to be around, I was like really worried about them, because most of them knew him before, you know, me and my cousin started coming around. So it's a lot, because it's like, if you grieving somebody that is a friend that you grew up with, you not only grieving for yourself, but you grieving for y'all group of friends as well, because it's like, dang, we was always all together. So it's a different type of pain, because it's like, bruh, this happened to him, it can happen to anybody. And it's like really scary growing up in this age and time. So after all of this talk about grief, I want anyone to know, you have to learn a new version of yourself, even if that means unknowing who you used to be. So you guys, this is my diary, entry number 1 of just a girl in her 20s. We're navigating 20s, but we're also going to be doing great things in our 20s. I have a lot of great things to come this year for 2025. I'm ready to reveal them once they're already happening, because you don't want to put anything out and somebody speak bad on it. Clock it. But 2025 is going to be a great year for all of us, and I'm ready to get into this content creator bag. And I'm hoping that all of you like, comment, and subscribe on my video, because we got another one dropping next Monday.